guys, it's Katie and welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about 10 new to me authors that I have discovered this year that I have read only their books. So this was actually quite hard because I've also read a lot of books from authors that I absolutely love and have read from before, so this was a little difficult for me to put into a list, but I managed to find 10 so far, so I am very excited to share my list with you. So the first author I'm going to be talking about is Jennifer Donnelly, and the book that I read this year by her was the first book that's in the Waterfire saga, which is Deep Blue. This cover is absolutely gorgeous, I love it so much, and I really enjoyed this book. It's about mermaids and I just thought it was unique in every sort of way, and I definitely recommend this series if you love books about merpeople and mermaids. But yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing on with this series and reading other books by this author. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is I Have No Secrets by Penny Jolson. I will place a picture over here because I believe I gave this book away to somebody. But this book I thought was like really unique, and this I believe was like her debut novel. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a really great book, and it's about this girl that's in a wheelchair and she is unable to speak verbally normally. However, she can speak in here, so she understands everything that's going on in the world. And then one day she listens to a secret that's going on, and she wants to voice out this secret because it's quite a serious thing, and so it's all about her like discovering to get her own voice, and it's really good. It's honestly one of my favourite books of the year so far, and it was absolutely fantastic. The third author that I'm going to be talking about is Simon James Green with his debut Noah Can't Even. I'll place a picture over here. It was funny, it was hilarious, it was everything that I needed to read, and it made me laugh. Even within the first page of this book. I actually lent this book to Ben. He hasn't read it yet actually, but you know, I was just like, oh, this book is so funny, so much that he was intrigued, so that's why I lent it to him. But the sequel's coming out next year. I'm really excited about it. Simon's a fantastic author as well. It was lovely to actually meet him in person and to just read his debut novel. It was just everything that I needed, and I love laughing in like at books, and it was so good. The next authors that are well, I'm going to put them together as authors because they sort of like co-wrote this book together, and that's Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. So this is them together writing a book. So this is These Broken Stars, which is the first book that is in this series. This book again is another gorgeous cover. I started this like last year, but I never completed it, so because I completed it this year, this is why I am saying like authors I have read books from. And yeah, this is a really great sort of sci-fi novel. I definitely get the sort of Titanic in space sort of vibe that people are describing it as. Yeah, it's really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved everything about it, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic, so I cannot wait to continue on with this series. So the next author that I'm going to be talking about that is a new to me author this very year is Randa Abdel Fattah. Now, I read this whilst I was at my friend's wedding, not actually reading it whilst I was in the wedding, but I was reading it when I was in the hotel, and I really enjoyed it so much that I wanted to give it on to my friend Emily as like a little mini wedding gift. I was like, this book was so good, you should read it, because she used to read books as well in school, so I thought I would pass it on as well. But it was a really sort of interesting story. That was a bit about like immigration. Like, we have one side of the family that is sort of like against immigrants, and then we got the girl, and she obviously is some sort of an immigrant, and you know, this guy and this girl have this sort of relationship going on. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I hope that Emily enjoyed it too, or enjoys it, whether she has read it or hasn't. But I definitely recommend this book, and I look forward to reading more from this author. I'm hoping she's bringing out more, but it was honestly so good. Another new to me author this year is RJ Palacio with Wonder. Now, this is the movie cover edition, and I'm really happy to have this one because this one is actually signed, and I won this for the Anti-Bully Reads Readathon. But this book was so good. Although it's a middle grade novel, it doesn't like read like a middle grade novel, I would say. It reads like more of a young adult. It just has like middle grade characters in it. But I really enjoyed this book. It sort of touched me in loads of places, and like I laughed at the right places too. And guys, if you haven't seen the movie yet already, it's so damn freaking close to the book that I totally adore it. I wasn't really sure about like Julia Roberts or what's his name playing the dad as the parents. I wasn't sure, but they actually did it really well, and it just all went together so well. I thought I love this book. So definitely, if RJ Palacio writes any more books, I know she's written like other books that are in this sort of like Wonder Universe series, so like I'm definitely going to read more like of the other books that she's written with Wonder, and if she ever writes anything outside of Wonder, I would definitely give it a read. The next author that has been new to me this year is Sue Mayfield with the book Voices. Now this is a book that I have said over and over again that I started when I was in secondary school, but I never actually completed it. I found it, it's no longer in print unfortunately anymore, but I managed to find it. I literally just typed in book cover with a bottle on the front and I managed to find it, and I was like, yes, this was the book, because I couldn't remember the author or the title. And I'm so glad that I read it again, because it just gave me like secondary school vibes again. I was going to say high school, but I'm not American, but if you're American you'll understand. High school, secondary school, it's the same thing. But yeah, I absolutely adored it. I don't believe she's been writing ever since. I know she's written other books, which, you know, that a couple of them are mentioned on the back of this one, so I'll probably like read her other books at some point. But this book I really enjoyed, and it's sort of like based around The Tempest by William Shakespeare, and it just sort of like gave me really awesome Shakespeare vibes too, so I definitely really enjoyed Sue Mayfield's work. The next author I'm going to be talking about is Liz Kessler, and she wrote Read Me Like a Book. Now this is a LGBTQIA sort of book, and it's about this girl who sort of falls in love with her teacher, and I just thought that was really sort of unique. She's got bad grades at college, and her parents have got marriage troubles. And it's just a really great book of her coming to terms with her sexuality, and it was honestly beautiful at so many times. The story faces real issues like a child dealing with the parents' split. It was raw and realistic, and I definitely recommend. I'm just reading my Goodreads review because I read that so early in the year that I just wanted to get my thoughts on what I wrote, but it was honestly, I remember it being like really sort of emotionally gripping as well, so I definitely enjoyed her novel Read Me Like a Book, and I look forward to reading her other work. The next novel or author that I have read this year that's new to me is Lindsay Kelk. The novel is We Were on a Break, and I actually got this book from the library and I listened to it as well on audiobook. It's a chick lit novel, so it's a bit different from my other reads from the other authors, and I actually really enjoyed this book. This is about Liv and Adam, and then Adam suggests that they take a break, and so this is like them on a break, and I'm just reading my Goodreads review because this was from March, and I said that it's a great chick lit about two people going through a break, friendship and family issues, as well as mixed signals and what they can do to people. My favourite character must be Daniel, as he made me laugh a lot. I wanted to see him as a best friend because he was full of sass. So many things annoyed me with both the main characters about how they dealt with stuff, but then it made me relate, as I myself among others have gone the same way about stuff. I said the reason I didn't give it a full 5-star rating was because I would have liked the alternate sections to be labelled who was telling. It did take a minute to guess each time. For the simple-minded people like myself, it's sometimes best to spoon feed it into us, haha. I also recommend for people to listen to the audiobook of this, as it was narrated well. So I did like enjoy it, but yeah, I think I remember at the time it was actually quite confusing because it wouldn't, like, sometimes like when people have alternate chapters, like they have the name of the person whose chapter is. Honestly, sometimes I do need to be spoon fed these things, but I do also remember enjoying this book, and I still would read like Lindsay Kelk's other work, and I definitely look forward to giving them a read. And my last new to me author I'm very excited to announce is Adam Silveira. The first book that I read by him was More Happy Than Not, which was a really interesting and intriguing book. And then the second book that I also read by Adam Silveira this year was They Both Die at the End, which is his latest novel, and I also really enjoyed that book as well. So I read 2 novels by this author this year, and I'm really happy that I did. More Happy Than Not I read near towards the beginning of the year, and then I read They Both Die at the End, like not too far away from where I am now, but they were just both so good in like their own different ways, and they were really unique. Adam has an amazing way of like ripping people's hearts out and knowing exactly how to make people like cry and feel all the feels, and yeah, both of these books were like really good. Like More Happy Than Not, just sort of an interesting take where there's this procedure where you can just change yourself basically, and it's just sort of like a book about realizing that, you know, you might not need this procedure in order to be better, or you might. I'm gonna leave that for you guys to give read if you haven't done already. And yeah, They Both Die at the End is again another really interesting story about this whole corporation that nobody know nothing about, but apparently they just call you when it is your last day. They give you 24 hours to live your last day as best you can. And so these 2 boys are they're both given the phone call, and so through this app they meet each other and they're like, hey, let's spend our last day together. So, and it was really cool like how they got on with each other and everything, and there was just so much diversity in They Both Die at the End as well, that it was just so super cool, and I really loved and enjoyed it, and I knew it was a lot of other people's favourites as well this year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading his other books. History Is All You Left Me I haven't yet read by him, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading just more of his books. I'm very excited to get his other books to read. So there you have it guys, that is the end of my list of new to me authors that I have read in 2017. Just 10 of them. It was hard to make the list because I haven't read a lot of books this year. I've currently at this present time read 44 books, very close to like upping that a little bit, but 44 books. It was hard to pick 10 authors that were new because a lot of them were authors that I read before. For example, Meg Cabot I've read before, and I also had Colleen Hoover on my list, so it was actually quite hard to select some new authors, but I managed to put together a list of 10 new authors that I did enjoy works from this year, and that I look forward to reading the other works in the present future. But let me know down below guys if you have read any of these books and authors that I have mentioned in today's video, and also let me know what authors you have discovered this year that you have loved and enjoyed. Let me know down below in the comments. If you've done a video, link your video, or you know, if you don't have a channel, you can just simply comment and I will have a little look at your list and we can talk about it. But thank you very much for watching my video as always. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you have, and keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie and I'll see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye!